Okay, since it's been a couple of minutes, I think we'll go ahead and we'll get started. So welcome everyone. My name is Sabrina with the Plano Public Library, and I want to thank you all for joining us for today's program. Please note that your microphone and video have been turned off. If you have any questions, you can type them into the chat. Kristen and I will be monitoring the chat to assist you with any issues and bring any questions to our presenters' attention. And we'll also be sure to leave time for questions at the end. Housekeeping reminders that we'd like to share. Note that this program is being recorded and will be made available on the Plano Public Library YouTube page for later viewing. Soliciting business or selling merchandise during library virtual programs is prohibited, so please show respect for our presenter and one another throughout the program. And with that, I will go ahead and I will hand it off to Kristen.
Thank you, Sabrina. I'm happy. I'll just introduce myself first. I'm Kristen Linscott. I work for Plano Public Library in Development Community Partnerships, and we are so glad to have a new community partner with us today. We have Lindsay Pittard, who's representing the Women's Business Council Southwest. Lindsay's been a part of Women's Business Council Southwest for over 8 years. Since 2014, she's been leading the organization's program development and program management function. Over the years, Lindsay has been responsible for professional and personal development opportunities and funding for certified women's business enterprises. And you're going to hear more about that this evening. And for corporate members, including major educational and regional programs. She's been a busy lady. Recently, Lindsay has been named as Vice President of Operations and Strategy for Women's Business Council Southwest. So in her new role, she plans to take the council to the next level, maximizing the organization's footprint throughout their 4-state region. You'll hear a little bit more about that, and increasing engagement with their members while also spreading the word about the amazing accomplishments of women-owned enterprises are achieving every day. We're really happy to have Lindsay with us tonight. Thank you so much, Lindsay.
Thank you, Kristen, and thank you, Sabrina. And welcome, everybody. So I like to keep my presentations pretty informal and casual. I know this format's a little tricky with me not being able to see our attendees' faces, but feel free to add in any comments in the chat box as well. I will answer those throughout, so feel free to stop me if you have a question along the way. But as Kristen and Sabrina had mentioned, my name is Lindsay Pittard, and I'm with the Women's Business Council Southwest. So I'm going to show some slides today. During this presentation, we'll kind of go over what is women-owned business certification, what are the benefits of being certified, and how to get plugged in. Kristen and team will also share this deck with you afterwards so that you can kind of take your time and deep dive into this information as well. Before I kind of start, I'm going to go ahead and share my information in the chat box too, so feel free to ask any questions afterwards if you have any follow-up that you'd like to do with me personally. And I always love a good LinkedIn request as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I hope everybody can see it just fine. Here's our website for the Women's Business Council Southwest. We're also located on all of the major social media platforms as well. Nothing secret would be shared on the social media platforms that you wouldn't receive in a different format, but this is just a way for you to kind of follow along with our women-owned businesses as we highlight the successes that they are achieving together, as well as trends that we're seeing in this economic network. Okay, so who is this network, right? So the Women's Business Enterprise National Council, we also call them WeBank. They are the national organization that sets the standards for women-owned business certification. And it's a national organization that across the country is implemented by these local regional partner organizations. You're probably already thinking, oh my gosh, this is an alphabet soup. And I promise I'll take my time with going through each one of these. But the national arm is the one who sets the standards for certification, and on a local level, we're the ones who implement that process. So as you can kind of see in that middle map, I know we're talking about a Plano or North Dallas kind of area, but I wanted to showcase that this is a national certification. That means that even though you may be located only in Plano, maybe you're thinking already on a growth plan for your business, and you're thinking, how can I expand my reach? I want to go into the Houston marketplace. I want to go into New Orleans, etc. And so because we have this national certification, you are considered a nationally certified women-owned business, and you are able to use that certification across the country. It's recognized. And as you can kind of see on the bottom here, the numbers are huge, right? So you're joining a network of fellow women-owned businesses who are there to support you. As you can kind of see, over 18,000 women-owned businesses are across our country. Corporate members, I kind of use that term a little loosely because corporate members can include major corporations like your Toyota, your Bank of America, your Texas Instruments. Those are companies that want to do business with diverse women-owned businesses. It also could be local government entities, your city of Dallas, Dallas ISD, etc. And so, like I said, we're one of those organizations that really helps you along the way. And so, similar to WeBank, we are here to provide a value to you as a women business owner. And I'm assuming all of you on today's session are women business owners, or at least maybe know somebody that is a women business. And so we're here at the council to provide education, advocacy, and mutually beneficial business opportunities. So really and truly, our team is here to support you in your growth and development to not only do business with one another, but with other corporations. And so at the Women's Business Council, we cover a 4-state region. As you can see here on this map, the color of red. We're a 4-state region. We cover North Central Texas down to Austin, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and New Mexico. We have about 1,200, almost 1,300 women business enterprises, those certified women-owned businesses, just in our 4-state region. And, you know, everybody's coming to Texas, which we love. And so we're seeing a larger footprint in our Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex because of all of the major corporations as well. And so you can kind of see here that we have over 90 corporate members just in our network alone. So you're probably thinking, okay, I got the network as a whole. I understand this is national. So who are these women business owners? Do I fit the mold? And so, like I said, you know, a women business enterprise, as we consider them, women businesses, they can vary in size, they can vary in revenue, they can vary in industries that they offer. And so here's a really high level snapshot of who are our women-owned businesses. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can kind of see the breakdown of revenue. So it's not these multi-million-dollar companies that are taking over the world necessarily in your backyard, but we have a good variety of sized businesses. Most of them, as you can see in that pie chart, are going to be under that $1 million mark. And what's interesting to me is the top WBE industries in our 4-state region. Construction. So if you are in a construction demographic, whether that's roofing or build outs or the wires needed to put things together, as you can tell, I'm not familiar in construction industry, but construction, IT, marketing, consulting, manufacturing, those are our top industries represented in just our area. So you're thinking the corporate member, maybe you're thinking about the corporate members. Maybe you want to kind of expand your reach, get those big contracts into your pipeline. And I know this is kind of like an eye chart, but this is a representation of who is committed to do business with you on a local level. These are major corporations that have committed to doing business with a certain spend requirements, their internal goals may be set aside, or just goodwill and knowing that it makes a huge economic impact. And so as you can kind of see here, they're gonna run in different sizes, industries, needs, and categories that they typically buy. So why is certification right for certain businesses? And maybe it's not right for yours, or maybe it might be. And so I wanted to just kind of showcase that we kind of coined the term that we are a one-stop shop in certification. So when you go through the process of certification, because it is nationally recognized, we have a very strict policy and procedure on how you can apply for these certifications. But the great thing is that instead of having to go to the state of Texas to get the hub certification, or to go to the federal government and getting the SBA's Women-Owned Small Business. We've condensed all of that for you into one-stop shop. So you would start with your Women-Owned Business certification. And we'll go into the criteria and eligibility of what makes a women-owned business in our eyes. But you would go through the application process for your women-owned business. And at the same time of applying online, you would be able to kind of essentially check a box, if you will, to be also considered for these 3 other additional certifications. Now, you may not know the value and benefit of certification. We'll go into a little bit about our network and the benefit of being a part of our council in that space, because there are opportunities out there to self-certify or to seek, a different, more localized certification. So we'll talk about the differences between ours and theirs, just so that you have a full kind of picture to choose from. But what I really encourage you to think about, if you're in the business space and you're wanting to consider certification, or you're trying to think if this is the right thing for you, you need to think about the benefits of the network and who might be in that network, the benefits of applying for a similar contract. So let's just say apples to apples, you apply for an RFP or a bid opportunity. Same cost that you would be pitching as another business. Let's just say a white male. So let's say white male has, $6,000 bid, proposal. Yours is the same price, same opportunity and everything. But because you're women-owned certified, and some of these other ones as well, you're going to get that extra bonus point, if you will, in that process. And so the more certifications that you have, and trust me, I know it's a process to get as many certifications as possible, but I highly encourage the benefits of getting as many certifications as possible. Expand your network, add those extra bonus points when you're competing against similar contracts. Okay, so the 4 different ones here, obviously on the far left, are the women-owned businesses. Then you have the state of Texas has the HUB program, the women-owned business, women-owned small business, or through WOSB, through the SBA. You can get that one for federal government contracting. And then Dallas County also has their own certification. And that's oftentimes too, the DFW International Airport will require an SBE certification as well. Okay, let me pause. How are we doing? I know it's a lot of information. So how's the chat? Any questions coming in yet?
I haven't seen any questions yet.
Okay. Y'all feel free to stop me. Okay, so let's talk about the benefits of certification, right? So we just talked about if you were comparing apples to apples of an RFP. So you're getting those extra bonus points. Just keep that in the back of your mind. You're getting those extra bonus points in a corporation's mind. But there's also some outward facing benefits as well. So we have that WeBank certified seal, as you saw on that previous slide, as well as the women-owned logo, as you can kind of see on my screen as well. And both of these logos are kind of used interchangeably, whether you are a product company, whether you are a service or professional service as well. It's a great time for you to use these logos to market your certification. So I encourage you, when you are out shopping at Walmart or Sam's Club or wherever it might be, I encourage you to kind of see what you can find when you're shopping. You'd actually be surprised at how many products that you typically buy are women-owned. Because if you look sometimes on the back of the package or on the tag, sometimes they'll have that women-owned logo seal. So of course you're going to put that one in your cart, right? And I think that's just a way for you to stand out in terms of real estate in the marketplace. It's another way, again, of standing out in the crowd of competition, in that you are women-owned business. And more times than not, people are going to want to support that if they know that you have been certified. The other benefit too is access to our membership database. So I mentioned before those 90 plus corporations and those almost 1,300 women-owned businesses. But as a member of this organization and getting that certification, you have the contact information for everybody. So let's just say, not knowing who's on the line today, but let's just say you're looking for a stationery provider or a leadership coach or janitorial services for your business. This is a great database to go through and say, hey, who's a women-owned business that's skilled in this category or this industry? I'm looking for the stationery provider. Similarly, it's a way for corporations to find you. So we know that you would have to typically go through their portal systems, their individual websites, and sign up for information. And yes, you're going to still have to do that. That's their typical way of doing it, their process. But it's also a way for, a corporation to come to us and say, hey, who do you have that's in roofing or furniture, whatever that might be, catering. And so they have access to that database. So I encourage you, again, to think about certification as not just a narrow-minded kind of tunnel, but think of all the ways that you can market your business. And there's also a way for you to receive opportunity to kind of speak, be a subject matter expert, to be on a panel, to sponsor, have your brand and logo present in front of a very large network as well. And so speaking of those sponsorship and speaking opportunities, at the Women's Business Council Southwest, we offer all the time. There's an event and program going on. And as Kristen kind of mentioned, that's been my bread and butter for a long time at the Women's Business Council. So yes, I might be a little bit biased, but I really think that there is a strong benefit to being seen and building your network. And so at the Women's Business Council Southwest, there's a website here on the screen, wbcsouthwest.org/events. And I know the team already put in our website as well in the chat. But there is a 2023 calendar of events listed on our website that at any time you're welcome to download that calendar and map it out based on what programs and events that we're offering at the time, the speaking opportunities that may be available, how you may volunteer and serve in a new capacity. And so we've broken our events and programs into 3 different pillars. As you can see on the screen here, we have capacity building programs, which are typically educational based. So business development opportunities like, how do I use LinkedIn? How do I get access to capital? A variety of topics that we may cover. So we have these monthly lunch and learns that we offer called table topics, etc. So lots of information on our website about each one of those. We also have procurement focused events. So those are all about contracts and sales and getting those, RFPs and bid opportunities with corporations. And we'll oftentimes have corporate led roundtable discussions, or a business will say, kind of have their own 101 webinar on how to do business with them. What are their insurance requirements, etc. And then we have our mentoring and outreach pillar, which is a community engagement pillar. So it's focusing on networking. Maybe they may be networking mixers or virtual, get-togethers. So that way you're building your network. I will say, and I know, again, I'm biased here, but our network is really wonderful at, if they may not have an opportunity for you, they may know somebody that does, right? And, oftentimes I hear that people do business with people they know and trust. And so the more that you're seen, the more that they're going to build that relationship with you. And the more often they're going to be able to say, hey, I know Holly, and Holly does X, Y, Z. You might want to reach out to her. Oftentimes too, corporations will talk. And so they'll say, hey, I need something. Can you find me, do you know a supplier that you've worked with that did really well for you? And can you refer them? So it's building that relationship. So you're thinking, oh, that's so nice. Yes, in my free time, I'll come to your events and we would love to have you and build those relationships. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. So all this information is available on our website. And again, you're going to receive this deck afterwards. But I wanted to high level tell you the criteria of being certified. And so you must be at least 51% owned, operated, and controlled by one or more females. Okay, so that means we're going to look at specific documents that you would provide in an online safe portal that will look at your tax returns and your structure and your bylaws and things like that, because we really want to vet that you are truly a women-owned business. So we, as the Women's Business Council, as a part of that WeBank network, have these very strict standards that are vetted very thoroughly in order to really say and qualify you as being a women-owned business. So we take it very seriously. And I know that if you've thought about certification and you've started to dabble in what those applications look like, it can be daunting. but I promise you it gets easier once you get started. So again, you have to, I mean, all this kind of is technical jargon, but just kind of keep in mind that you need to be at least 51% owned, operated, and controlled. And that means that maybe you have male investors. Maybe you have your husband as a partner in your business. As long as you are 51% owned by you or one of more females in your business, then definitely take a look at the criteria and think about applying again. So again, that process is going to be going on to webanklink.org, which is our national organization's website. You're going to fill out a very thorough application. I won't lie to you, it is a process. Once your application is received, all of the documents have to be received within a term, you have a time limit to do it. I think it's 60-day timeline to do it. And then a certification review committee will review your files. And then after that, we will conduct a site visit for that initial certification. And that's just a way for us to kind of get to know you, but also to verify that you are the owner and operator and controller of the company. So I can probably hear you thinking, what's the fee? And so there is a breakdown based on your annual revenue as to how much that certification processing fee. Typically, it starts at $350 annually for those that are less than $1 million in annual revenue, and it kind of has a threshold that goes up from there. But again, more information on our website in terms of what documents are required, the fee structure, and again, those benefits that come with it. So we have an application that just opened up, and it will be live until Friday, June 16th for our Women of Color Certification Mentorship. So this is a complimentary 3-month program where we connect women of color business owners that are really thinking about certification and need a little extra support in navigating that process. The cohort will actually start mid-July and go through October. So if you are interested in joining that mentorship program, please definitely reach out to my team, myself. I'm happy to answer any questions about it and give you some inside scoop if you need some support and thinking about it. But know that we have a wonderful team that's available to support you in the process. And I wanted to just kind of share, I know I put it in the chat box as well, but my information is available to you. Anita Steele is our Executive Director of Certification. She is a wonderful resource for you to ask all the detailed questions. Anita has been with our council for longer than I have been with the council. And so she knows, maybe you might have a tricky structure, or maybe you might be missing a document and need to have a little bit extra support. Anita is a wonderful person to reach out to and to discuss a little bit more in depth. And that's it. Cut dry. How are we doing, ladies? Any questions that we have?
I haven't seen any questions. Oh, sorry. I haven't seen any come through yet, but if anyone does have questions, remember, you can type them right in the chat.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put our contact information back on the screen so that everybody can capture that too.
Perfect. And then while people are thinking about what questions they might have, I'm going to share just a few minutes of just a quick overview of a few services Plano Public Library provides that may be of interest to you as you build your business, because these things are free, open to the public, and can support you. Let me see if I can get this going. Sorry. All right. So Plano Public Library is more than books. This will just take a couple of minutes here, and then we'll take any other questions that you have for Lindsay. So the library is a free, open public resource. And so we love for people to come and use the resources that we have to share with you. It costs nothing to get a library card. If you live in, for Plano, to get a Plano library card, if you live in Plano, obviously Allen, Frisco, Garland, McKinney, Richardson, the Colony, or Wiley. In all of those cities, you can get a Plano library card at no cost. Many of these similar resources are available at other public libraries. So if you live in another city, I would suggest that you check with your city's public library and see which things they do can offer for you. We offer public access to computers for use, including Adobe Suite on some of our computers, and internet that is available free in all of our buildings. We have meeting spaces available that you can meet with, in small groups to talk about things that you're working on, or meet with perhaps somebody that you're considering working with or contracting with, or having events at our libraries. The meeting spaces for larger events, there's a rental fee, but for just visiting with others, it's free. Our staff is available to assist you by virtual appointment or in person. We call it Book a Librarian. We have skill building resources, including it requires a library card, but LinkedIn Learning and Udemy you can get for free. These are subscription services. LinkedIn Learning costs more than even a library card would for a year. If you live outside of our boundaries, it's $50. But it's free for all of those 8 cities. We also have digital resources available. Something really important for growing a business, Reference Solutions has wonderful information about businesses across the nation. They are, it's grouped by the NAICS, those categories. And so you can do competitive analysis. When you're building your business, you can seek other companies to do for business-to-business sales or other individuals that you'd like to market your services to. Wonderful resource, free for library card holders. We also have a new resource called Gale Entrepreneurship, where you can find sample business plans, SWOT analysis help, cash flow, a lot of great resources. All of it's free. We have a SCORE mentor. SCORE is part of the Small Business Administration. It's a volunteer program through the Small Business Administration where retired or current executives coach and mentor people through planning for a business or starting or growing their existing business. It's all free. It is confidential, and we have a SCORE mentor who comes to our Schimmelpfennig Library every Thursday by appointment only. You must have an appointment in order for him to show up, but he is there most Thursdays meeting with people to help them advance their business ideas. Love it. We also have Book a Librarian, as I had mentioned, and we provide technology training as well. I'm going to give you some specific classes that are coming up here in a minute, but we have all kinds of technology resources available at the library and then also training in how to use them. Our digital creation spaces at 3 of our libraries provide video equipment and special software for video, audio, animation projects. We have a green screen. Lots of things that you can use at no cost, again, with a library card. We have 3D printers at 3 of our libraries. The only cost you have there to print your item is paying for filament, which is about 20 cents a gram. So most projects cost between $1 and maybe $5. So they're pretty cheap to print. And then we also have wireless printing. So if you need to print, you're on a way to meet someone that you're going to put in a bid for, and they want a printed bid or cost estimate, you can print it wirelessly at one of our libraries. We have 5 libraries in Plano to serve you. We can also provide you access to business news, including the New York Times, Dallas Morning News, the Wall Street Journal, Harvard Business Review, and our press reader program has newspapers from around the world, literally around the world, in all different languages. And then we also can connect you with e-magazines to keep up with things and get new ideas. We have a support program every month. We call it TUES, Team Up for Entrepreneurial Success, on, yes, Tuesdays, the 4th Tuesday of every month. We have SCORE. This is a collaborative project with SCORE mentors from the Dallas SCORE chapter and our librarians who bring different topical information. So there's a kind of a learning component every month. And then there's also time to network and ask questions and talk to one another so that business owners and those planning businesses can share resources and experiences and help one another. Upcoming programs. Every month we have the TUES networking. Great opportunity to visit with others and learn new things. We have our SCORE mentors available every week. Small business topics that we often have programs on: marketing, branding, planning, how to use LinkedIn Learning. and technology classes of all sorts. Right now, what you can mark your calendar for, May 23rd, we have a presentation by the Collins Small Business Development Center, which is also a resource of the Small Business Administration to help small businesses establish and grow. That's at our Choose meeting on May 23rd. That's in the evening, 6:30. The Choose meeting in June will be on digital presence. We have a Canva series coming up, how to use Canva to create your social media, videos, marketing materials, logos even, all kinds of things. Reference Solutions, I mentioned that database. We have 2 training sessions coming up. One is virtual, one is in person. We'd love to show you how to use the powerful database that Reference Solutions is. Creating a digital store. These are just a few of our upcoming classes, and we have many of our other things that are on our YouTube channel where this program will also be listed later on this week or next. My email address is here. Would love to talk with you if you have further questions. And it looks like we may have some questions in the chat. So whether they're for Lindsay or about library resources, we are happy to answer. Sorry. Oh, it looks like we maybe just additional resources put in the chat. Yes? Any questions, anyone? I'm so glad you joined us tonight. And thank you so much, Lindsay, for your time and
Yes,
all
thank
the
you so much
wonderful
for having me.
information that you shared.
Of course, don't hesitate to reach out. We're happy to help.
We will continue these conversations, and we all need to access all the resources that we can to grow and learn and continue to be vital in this changing marketplace. And so the Women's Business Council Southwest, the Plano Public Library, SCORE, other programs of the Small Business Administration, they're all there to help you. So we'd love to see you at another program. Thanks for attending. And if you have questions, please reach out to Lindsay or I afterward. You have email addresses, and we'd love to talk with you. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great evening.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.